Brownsville had the distinction of being one of the worst connected cities several years ago.
Brownsville was known for that city that was not growing, the city that nobody really took the time to build when it comes to technology.
How'd you overcome that? And what does it take to go from being the least connected city in the nation to being a modern and AI-ready city?
The internet opens doors and creates opportunities for everybody, especially kids. We completed 100 miles, 576 strands of fiber laying around the city. It covers about 80% of the city.
Education, connectivity, it changes the trajectory of generations. As soon as you have that connectivity and high-speed connectivity, it opens up job opportunities. If you can't see it, you can't dream it.
Dream big. People need to dream big. If you can see it, it is possible.
Welcome to the Tech Legacies Podcast, where every episode we share the untold stories of tech executives, including their origins, business insights, career advice, as well as tech trends. And my name is Fanny Dunagan, and I'm the host of the podcast. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors and thank them for enabling this podcast. So shout out to CG Infinity, Shauna Black and Associates, as well as Odyssey Information Services. And if you haven't already done so, be sure to hit that subscribe button to subscribe to our Tech Legacies channel, as well as to follow our podcast platforms wherever you listen to your podcasts. And so I want to start and begin with this question. What will smart and connected cities look like in 2030? And what does it take to go from being the least connected city in the nation, or one of the least connected cities in the nation, to being a modern and AI-ready city? That's what we're going to dive into today on our conversation with my guest, Jorge Cardenas. He is the CIO of the City of Brownsville in South Texas, right by the border with Mexico. But it is also the growing hub, a space hub, because it is right beside SpaceX Starbase. So, Jorge, welcome to the Tech Legacies Podcast.
No, thank you. It is an honor to be here, really, to talk about everything that has happened in Brownsville, which is a lot. So Thank you for inviting me.
I'm super excited for our conversation. We've been talking a lot over the last year, and actually, you're the first CIO that I have on my show that is from the city perspective and the public sector. So I can't wait to dive in.
All right, let's get started.
Yes. So, Jorge, for those of our audience that don't quite know, can you share a little bit about your role and what are the problems you're helping to solve in the city of Brownsville?
So being a CIO in a city, it's different. I mean, I've been in the military Department of Defense and private sector. Now being in local government, it is different because the challenges of a city, and how to solve those challenges is different because of a city operates and based on the funds available. If the city is doing well in business, if the city is growing, then there's money coming into the city that can be put back into the community. But when a city does not have those funds, that's when the challenge comes. And that's when a CIO needs to have creative and needs to come up with great ideas and ways of doing all the things that need to be done. So it is a very unique way of doing business as a CIO.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of that, you think about it like your customers, right, or your clients is all the citizens of that city, right?
Correct. And in Brownsville, it's not just the ones that live in the city, because in paper, the city is around 200,000 population, right? Mm-hmm. But then it's an international city. You got Mexico, right there across the border. So not only you have to tend to those residents in the U.S. and Brownsville, you have to tend to all the tourists that come into Brownsville, which is, 100 to 150,000 daily. They cross from Mexico to Brownsville. So,
yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
And then obviously I mentioned earlier, right, you have the notoriety of Brownsville being right near SpaceX, right, which is getting a lot of attention. Talk about that. What's that been like?
Yeah, so I think that's when I got there in 2022. SpaceX is definitely creating a different environment, different dynamics for the city. The city is growing because of SpaceX. Mm-hmm. That's bottom line. When I got there, it was about 600 employees. Now, last time I heard, it was close to 4,000 employees.
Wow!
So all those people are living in Brownsville, and now SpaceX became their own city.
Yeah.
So now that's changing again, and you get all these people coming every time there's an event at SpaceX. To see those rockets go up, and you see a lot of people coming in. So it is definitely bringing more people, and is increasing the economy of the area.
I bet.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool though, right? Because do you ever get to see the rockets launching and all that? Jorge?
Oh yeah, I can see it from my house. I mean, you can see it from anywhere. As Texas being flat, and especially in that area, you can see it. You can be at any part of the city, and you can see it. And the good thing is, like, the businesses are adapting to it, because now hotels, the new hotels that are being built, they creating that rooftop, so that people can
like
go
a
in
viewing
there,
area.
the viewing area. So that's one of the things they do. And then you see the beach full of people, boats in the water. And I mean, you can see it from the ocean very clearly.
That's so cool. I'm such a nerd. So you think about in the 60s, I guess, right? First kind of put a man on the moon to now you can see frequent launches and rocket launches. The progress is just staggering.
Yeah, right? And it's just how fast they're doing it. I mean, I was able to get a tour in the facility, and it's just amazing how things are moving in there, and how much they're planning on doing in the future. So what we're seeing right now, I think, is just the beginning. This year, 2026, will be definitely another year that we're going to see that company grow. Mm-hmm. So and again, if the private sector grows, the city of Brownsville,
for sure,
grows as well.
And obviously, for a city to grow, you need connectivity, right? And unfortunately, Brownsville had the distinction of being one of the worst connected cities several years ago. Talk about what happened, from that journey of being so-called worst connected city to where it is now, and the progress that you've kind of been involved in.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the main things that Brownsville was known for, right? That city that was not growing, the city that nobody really took the time to build when it comes to technology. And I think that's why I was hired to get there. I had the experience of, being all over the world, building and modernizing infrastructures. But a city of Brownsville, when I got there, the main thing was, we want to become a smart city. But in order to a city to be smart, it needs to be connected.
Yeah.
Everything in this, nowadays, everything that you have needs an internet connection. Yeah. And Brownsville being the worst connected city, it was not helping. So the first thing that we started in 2022 is, the mayor, commissioners, they signed an agreement to city manager to start a fiber optic project that was 100 miles of fiber optics throughout the city.
Wow.
And we started in August of 2022. By March of 2024, we had already completed the project. 100 miles, 576 strands of fiber laying around the city. It covers about 80% of the city, and 80%, and it also goes through several other small cities that are connected to Brownsville. They're being, leveraging our infrastructure, and now, citizens, residents, they have options on when it comes to internet connectivity, because before it was the traditional internet, or those companies that are typically in towns. And it's like citizens had no option. So internet was not reliable, the speeds were not high, and the price was high. Now that you can see now that as we have our own fiber and we partner with an internet provider, you see the prices coming down because there's competition. And that right there is not only enabling and providing opportunities for residents, but for businesses. We talk about SpaceX. We have a big project is with the next decade, a gas company, natural gas, and multi-billion-dollar project. Well, they needed internet going that way because it's going towards the island. That area, there's no businesses going that way, so there was no internet. So our fiber infrastructure now is able to give those businesses the speed that they need and safe, right? Everything that it goes underground and is fiber is safer than having a copper cable.
That's incredible. And you also think about we live in a digital world, right, with remote jobs and things like that. As soon as you have that connectivity and high-speed connectivity, it opens up job opportunities, I would think, for residents too, right? Like if employment, remote work, it's exponential impact.
It's amazing. Last year we had an event to give out 320 computers to those families that need them, those that cannot afford the computers, because we understand. I always say, internet opens doors and creates opportunities for everybody, and especially those kids.
Yes.
I mean, I remember growing up, I wanted a computer, but it was very expensive. I couldn't afford it. Nowadays, it's still, it might be affordable for someone like us, but $300, $400 is a lot for some families. Yeah. So last year we gave out, 320 computers. We partnered with one of the vendors, and they provided computers at a very discount rate to give out to the community. And just seeing them, getting connected. And just seeing their faces, like, now I can do my homework. Now I can, do this. And parents, now I can create my resume. Now I can start applying for jobs. So just those, 320 families, we had over 1,000 people show up, and they were just thanking us, the city, for what we were doing. Not only we bringing internet to their homes, affordable internet, but we also giving them the tools to use that internet connection. So.
Well, we were talking on the way here in the car, right? Like we're immigrants, right? And but education, and in this case, connectivity, it changes the whole trajectory of generations, right? And then I can imagine the kid getting a laptop and then being exposed and having access to all kinds of additional information. And then that can change the trajectory of their careers and where they could be headed. Right.
I mean, it just opens their mindset. That just gives them an opportunity to start looking into things. I look at when my son, now 15, he's like, Dad, I want to be a mechanical engineer. I want to be, I'm like, look it up. Right now, you got the tools. You have the computer. Look up ChatGPT or Copilot, whatever you need to do. Ask them. It will guide you. It will give you everything you need. So just giving, and that's what part of the workshop that we did for the families when we gave them those computers. We showed them how to use those tools to leverage it to get what they want. You don't know what do you want in life? Ask the technology, and they can give you a very comprehensive plan. And even for families, they want to start business too, right? So it's just economy. It works. It's a ripple effect throughout the whole family and the city.
So I'm curious, right, to put in such major infrastructure into a city, right? 100 miles, you said, of fiber. You're just digging around, and there's disruption, right? When you think about that, what's harder, like the tech side or the people side and the impacts of that?
I think I've been in project management for a long time, and what I learned over the past 22 years in this industry is that when you have a good relationship with people that you work with, things get easier. I can tell you this project brought so much stress to the city that I took it upon myself. I took it off. We had a consulting company to help us with that project. I told my city manager, it's like, we don't need them. I got it, right? Because I have experience in fiber optics. So, and I redesigned the actual plan that the city had for fiber. But I did it by creating that relationship with our partners, with the company that build our fiber. So having a good relationship with them alleviates and mitigates some of those problems. Because, families complaining that there's disruption, they're digging around their neighborhood, hitting water lines. And we were at one point we had 8 to 10 crews, digging, drilling. But when you have a good relationship with the people, the in the project, it makes it easier for you, because now you can just give them a call, and the good relationship allows you to do more. Because if you don't have a good relationship, they're just gonna say whatever, we deal with it tomorrow. But when you have a good relationship, they're like, I got you. Let me get to it.
That's the foundation.
It's the foundation.
Relationships.
And even right now, the company, merged with this parent company. New people came in, and I was able to build that same relationship with the CEO, COO now, that I got them on a speed dial. Anything happens, it's like, hey, I see this, and they're like, we on it. And then within hours, they're like, we fixed it, or hey, we got a plan. So relationship is key to deal with this massive project. Because, it's about $100 million project.
Yeah, such a great advice. Now, you guys are also putting in private 5G, right?
Yes.
So for those that don't understand, like between private versus public, like why is this important, and how does this help the city as well?
Yeah, so when coming from least connected to one of the most connected, one of the foundations for a city to be a smart city is private 5G. So the first one is fiber. And the second one is a connection, a wireless connection. In this case, we decided to go with a private 5G because we leverage our own fiber infrastructure and we use our own internet connection to provide that wireless connectivity in the city. Why this is important? Because cities have, IoT devices, cameras, sensors, you name it, throughout the city. And most cities are paying a fee to have a SIM card or have a wireless connection to those cameras or sensors or parking meters. It can get very expensive. Now, we were able to deploy our first phase of private 5G in the downtown area. It's about 3 square mile radius, which is pretty big.
Yeah.
We cover right now 4 big parks, and we provide internet connectivity, free access to the community. We have around 100 cameras connected to it, where now we don't have to pay that connection fee. It's our network, it's our connection, and we manage it. So now we are on the second phase to deploy through the rest of the city, and now we can have anything connected to it. We own it, we manage it. It's ours, and no, we don't have to pay.
So it's almost short-term pain for long-term gain, right?
Yes. I can tell you right now, the ROI is incredible because we build it, the first phase, and it's pretty, it pays for itself already.
Wow. Well, give me an example of where you see maybe a business or an organization that's benefited from having this.
So one of the main benefits is that you have on the parks, just an example, on the parks, free Wi-Fi. So open space. On those areas, they have events on the weekends, like the farmers market. They have, events. People go there and connect. The businesses are connecting free to our internet.
Just for like the sales,
the
right?
Sales.
Just credit card sales.
Credit card sales. And one of the challenges that people don't know is being a border city, and in that area where we place our first private 5G, the signal from Mexico to the U.S. it goes in and out. So you be in my office, you're like, welcome to Mexico, but I'm not in Mexico because the cellular signal. So that creates an issue on cellular connectivity. And that's why we started with a private 5G to alleviate that issue. The other one is connectivity to our cameras, right? The public safety, the police, they need connection. They need to have connection to those cameras. and before they were not reliable. So, just accidents, things that are happening, they're able to see what is happening in real time. No downtime on the cameras. So you create a safer, city with that.
Like with every story you tell me, Jorge, it just blows my mind when I think about, and it all started with connectivity.
Yes.
Right? Once you get connected, then all this safety improves, accessibility improves, businesses improve. Like, it's such a core foundation now.
Yes, it's always I don't know why, but I always think about being connected in the city. I always think about a Christmas tree, right? That you can put up a Christmas tree and you can put all your ornaments, and your ornaments are all your sensors, everything. But until you plug in that Christmas tree and see all the lighting, then it shines. Then it's actually working. Before that, it's just a tree standing there doing nothing, right?
Yeah.
But when you get that connection, you get that power, it changes everything for the city.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful analogy. Well, so we got connectivity, and now we live in an AI world, and you guys are building your own AI factory? Like, what is that, and why?
So, I mean, AI is a big word nowadays, and I think is for cities it is hard to get the artificial intelligence tools because of the cost. And us being a city that is well connected now, and having all these cameras and having all these tools
and data.
So it's hard for us to actually, I just talk about 100 cameras. They're just connected on our first phase. The goal is to get up to 1,000, 2,000 cameras connected. There is no way a person or even a group of people, 10, 20 people, be able to watch every camera at all times, right? That's when AI comes in, because we are planning on putting a camera in every intersection, every street, every alley to make sure that we have a safe city. So the only way we can monitor those cameras is by actually creating our own AI factory, so that they can give us the real-time data that we need. So visual AI for us is going to change the way the city operates. It's almost like having a person in every camera 24/7 telling me what I want to know.
And
Literally,
it will flag
things. So you want to know every time a person crosses the street, it will tell you. It will flag you. It will send you a message. You want to know when people are driving the wrong way, people are speeding. We will turn every camera into a smart camera where they will
or a crash.
Right? License plate readers is going to be able to pretty much anything. Crowd monitoring in big events, like we're about to have a big event in Brownsville where 150,000 people go.
Wow.
So that's a lot of people in one location.
Yeah.
Just think about the number of manpower needed for that. But in that park that we're going to have the event, we have already the sensors. We have the optical sensors that they'll be able to tell us, is there aggressive behavior? Are there people with weapons? Are there animals in the area?
Wow, it can look for all those things.
It can look for those things. So it's that's the importance of having our own AI factory. Without having it, if you actually go out and try to use it, from a vendor, it can be very costly. I mean, it will be hundreds of thousands of dollars to generate all that information that we're going to get from our own AI factory. So we're going to leverage it for a lot of things. There's several cases, not just that for the airport security, street, cleanliness, and just the first responders is going to be the ones utilizing it a lot. And the city's going to see the benefit, safer cities, cleaner city, and just better customer service.
And do you ever get any resistance? As soon as people hear cameras and they worry about privacy and all those kind of things, how do you deal with those kind of objections?
So we pretty much, we said that one of the main things, we're not going to be, looking for people. We are going to look for descriptions of whatever is happening, right? So
patterns, I guess.
Patterns, right? If we have a restrictive area, that people should not be going in. We're going to tell our camera, tell us every time somebody crosses this line.
Right.
So that's a task. We're not going to say, tell me, give me the full description of that person, give me their background. We're not doing all that. We are, it's very task oriented, pretty much protecting the city and making sure that people are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. It's so exciting. I still want to come visit you, Jorge. It's on my list of things to do in 2026. But I want to take a pause here and rewind a little bit and talk about your origins. Right? You talk a bit about like where you grew up and then how you ended up joining the military. I want to pause real quick here and give a special shout out to one of our sponsors, CG Infinity. I've worked with them for several years now, and I can truly say that they have one of the best workplace cultures that I've ever experienced. And they specialize in a variety of industries, especially energy, utilities, and financial services. And they serve them through their Salesforce, cloud, as well as customer experience services. So thank you, CG Infinity, and I hope you'll support them as they have supported us here at the podcast.
I was born in Mexico. I was born in Mexico. Both of my parents are engineers. And my father, got a job in Georgia in 1983 when I was born. And so now you know how old I am. and we stayed in Mexico for several years while he was working, and then finally, my mom got a job too, and we actually, got a visa to go, and finally we end up becoming residents. Yeah. But it was not until I was 11 years old, and after that, I went to high school, and I lived very close to a military base, Air Force. So that's how everything started with the military for me. I saw airplanes go by, and one time I saw a helicopter passing by with the U.S. Marines name on it, and I was like, I want to be a Marine. I was like 13, 14, and when I was 18, I joined the Marines, and that's actually how I started in technology. The military gave me that skill, and 2004 I joined the Marines, and
What were some of your roles?
So in the Marines, the title was Communications and Antenna System. So what that is you come in and you learn everything about the what you call layer one, cabling infrastructure, how systems are connected, how antennas are connected, how you bring an internet connection into a building. And then you start building on that. It's like, okay, now you bring the cable. Now what is connected to that cable? Now you get into networking, you get into system administration, and that's how everything started. So all those, and the very good thing about military, that it teaches you all those skills. Everything is on the job training, and you learn so much because you go from place to place, country to country. And you get to see how things are done in different places by different people, by different culture, backgrounds. And I just love that. I learned a lot from that. And I think that's why one of my strong skills is relationship building, because I really give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Everybody's different. And I try to learn from their ways of doing and adapting to how they do things. And I make sure that they understand how I work as well.
You think back to that kid in the military.
Yeah.
Did you think he would ever become like the CIO and like leading and using all those same skills in a way to build infrastructure for a whole city?
I always thought about, I don't think I remember saying, I want to be a CIO. I would say I want to be a CEO. I always had that in mind, right? And one of the things that I always do everywhere that I go is I try to see how people work, right? Even right now here, looking at everything that goes into getting this going is like, I try to pay attention so that I know one day maybe I'm going to need that skill. and then at least I know the fundamentals. And that's there's that same mentality. I had it since I was 18 years old, always looking at people, how they do things, and learn their job. And then when I got to a managerial position, I always looked at everybody, how they did things, and even my boss, and I always try to mimic what my boss did, and then what his boss did, and then so forth. I've been doing that so much, and so when I got to Brownsville, it's like all those skills, all that that I had in me just came out, and
everything tied back together, right?
Yes. Yeah, and one thing is that I always say is like, if you really pay attention to what you do in your life and you really apply what you learned, you can do anything. A lot of people question if I was going to be able to work in local government, right? It's like it's different. Now being in local government is no different than any other organization. Private sector, when I went to the private sector, the same thing. I was like, well, you come from military, how are you going to adapt to private sector? And I did great. Same thing in local government. It's like, if you apply those skills, the fundamentals, and you're just a good person, and have good intentions, and the vision of the organization, you will be able to do what needs to be done.
I'm so curious, where do you think you got those insights and skills to build relationships? Like, I always think people, something in their childhood or upbringing gave them a certain strength, and then they're able to then carry that into their jobs and their roles. Was there something in your childhood that sparked that interest in building relationships, or a memory you have that ties to that?
I think a big influence was my father. I think he has, my kids now say I'm much like him, that I always try to give people advice. I always try to be very calm. And my father always, he had a business. And I remember I was like 15, 16 years old. My brother is 2 years older than me. And my father will be like, hey, you always treat people with respect. He always said, hey, to my brother, because he was a little bit more impulsive, right? So he's like, hey, you need to calm down. You got to remember that they give us the way we live. Without them, we are nobody, and vice versa. We need each other to be in this business. They need the money. We need their skill to make the money. And that was his thing. And even he's still talking like that right now with his business. He treats people very well. And he always told us that, you treat everybody with respect, and then you learn from them. And it was a conversation over and over again. I guess it just stayed with me that everywhere I go, I try to be the same way. Treat people with respect. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. I'm reading a book right now called Who, Not How.
Who, Not. Okay.
And I think it's along the same line, right? Because I feel like what I'm learning is, at the end of the day, the how, we think as engineers and all that, we need to know every single step of the how. Mm-hmm. But if you just find that right person who knows all that, and you partner with them or trust them or build a relationship with them, then they'll take care of all the complexities of the how.
Yes, 100%. Look at how much, I have done in the City of Brownsville with the small team that I have.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 22 highly skilled, I can say highly skilled engineers that I put together, because exactly what you just said is I try to find the things that I don't know, hire somebody that knows, and they just run with it. And then I learn, right? It's amazing how much you can do when you have the right people around you. So you don't have to be, it's true, you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You have to have the right team in the room to get the things done.
And then you're coordinating.
And and if they understand the mission, I wish we could get the whole team together and just talk about the projects and just see how much they know about each other and what everybody's doing. Yes. That is amazing. I can put anybody in the room and they can talk about what is happening in any project because of the collaboration and just how well they understand the mission and of the organization.
Love it. Yeah, even how you talk, right? It's still a mission, right? Whether it's a project or, a mission in the military. Is there a leadership lesson that stuck with you from the military that you still carry over in your CIO role?
I think yes. So for me, is you have to get people to care about what you're doing. For me, as that's the key everywhere that I go. If I go in and bark orders, things are probably going to get done, but not done the right way, or they're going to be done perfect. But if you come into an organization and you get them to care about what you want to do, tell them why you're doing them, explain their role, get them to understand their role, you will tell them to. I always give them an example. It's like, hey, if I ask for a soda, I want you to bring me the soda, and I want you to take it the extra mile. Bring me the soda, bring me a napkin, bring me a cup with ice. That should be the mentality of all of you. And they actually listen when you say it over and over again. You got to be consistent. So I think that's the biggest lesson. You got to get people to care about what you're doing.
That's such an important advice because, like when we care, then we go over and above.
Yes.
Right? We're not just doing the minimum because we care about the collective group or the other person that we're serving, and then we exceed expectations. Right?
It's like a relationship, right? Like even with your partner, it's like when you are in love, you do things for that person, even though you don't like them. Yeah, you do them because you love that person.
Like me watching football on a Sunday.
There you go. There you go.
Even though I'm not a football fan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It happens. It's the same way at work. I mean, yesterday was a perfect example. I can tell you, it's like I asked for a analysis of connections in a system, and I didn't just get an Excel sheet of the name of the connections. It was like the person gave me a whole write-up of what each connection did, the diagram of each connection, and why. Right. I was very impressed. I'm like,
someone that cares.
Someone that cared. And so that's amazing. And if everybody think that way,
you get a lot done.
You get a lot done, So
yeah, I love that. When we were prepping for this, you mentioned to me you had some language barriers, right? How'd you overcome that? What did you learn along the way about that?
So, again, when you are 11 years old and you move to a country that, in 1994, it was very different times in Georgia than they are now. My brother and I were the only two Mexicans in the whole school. So it's like you don't speak the language. You know a few words, but you don't speak the language. So you kind of like when you talk, people laugh at you because your accent is different, right? So it just kind of puts you in a mindset of I'm just not going to talk. Yeah. I was able to understand and read, and I mean I graduated with honors, right? Just the mentality that my parents gave us, like anything that you do is going to be hard, but you give your best. So I can tell you, I joined the Marine Corps, and I was still not there with the language. I mean, I had a person I'm a rack mate in boot camp. He was from Chile, right? He speaks Spanish, but he was born in the U.S. And I remember when the drill instructors be yelling and saying things, and I remember asking him like, what did they say? And he would tell me. He helped me. Yeah. He helped me a lot. And obviously, and they will speak so fast that I wasn't able to understand. And so I went through the first few years in the Marine Corps, understanding everything. I was like, I had no problem understanding. It was just I was not confident at speaking. So I spent obviously in the Marine Corps, you have to speak more. You start practicing, and then my last couple of years of the Marine Corps, I ended up being an instructor. That pushed me to speak and just get confident speaking. And I think that those last 2 years in the Marine Corps was really what changed the way I am now when it comes to the language. But I can tell you it was hard.
It's almost like you faced your biggest fear,
yes.
right? You went from not wanting to speak up to being an instructor. So just throw yourself into it.
I pushed myself into it. I actually, it was that time where I came back from Iraq and it's like, okay, where you want to go? And I was like, I want to be an instructor. And I had that fear. It's like, man, what if I don't make it? What if they don't understand me? And I can tell you the first few months maybe I had a little trouble.
Right.
But one of the things that it goes back to everything that I do, I try to do my best. Is like I memorized the actual workbooks and everything that I was going to be teaching, and so I knew everything that was in the book. So it made it easier for me to just think of what I was going to say, what was coming next. They gave my brain the ability to adapt and think faster because I already knew everything that was on that workbook. And I can tell you I did so great that I was one of the few instructors that they got a master instructor certification because of the hours that I was able to teach, because I was doing a good job and they just kept me going.
I always think like to overcome fear, just over prepare.
Yes, that's 100%.
And then that helps shift that.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
And that, yes, you said it correctly. You summarized exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Just prepare.
For sure. Now, going from the military, you also worked at Department of Defense, private sector. Share a lesson or like maybe something along your journey for those that are watching in our audience, right? That might be in the military right now and then eventually wants to get into the private sector. Any words of advice or encouragement?
Yeah, I think the main thing is that, especially in technology, that, it doesn't matter where you go. The fundamentals are the fundamentals of technology and even project management. And I think every role, but I think if you know your stuff very well, you be able to translate it to any sector, whether it be the private sector, local government, or a business that you want to create. So for me is yes, try to make sure that you are the best at what you're doing, because after the military, they cannot fire you unless you do something wrong, but so you got a pretty secure job. But in the private sector, if you know your stuff, you'll be able to they're gonna know that you don't know your stuff. So I think the advice would be that understand that to be able to make it in the outside of the military, you got to know your stuff. You cannot just fake it to make it, and you got to be the best. And even if you're not the best, try to be the best, because it's harder to just jump into, especially the private sector. These companies move so fast that if you don't adapt, you can be out of a job pretty quick. So I think that'd be my advice: get to know your stuff.
What was the toughest thing you had to face in your career, Jorge?
I think the toughest for me was, I think the language barrier was the toughest for me, because I'm a very hard worker, and I think I might not be the smartest person, but I am the type that I will learn what I need to learn, and I will make it wherever I am. But I think to me that was the toughest, the language barrier. And after that, man, I can adapt in any environment. I'm a chameleon.
Yeah. Love it. That's needed. I want to pause real quick to thank one of the sponsors of our Tech Legacies podcast. She is Shauna Black. She is a heart-centered executive coach. You're stuck in your career and wanting to get to the next level, but you feel something holding you back. Shauna Black is someone that will see your light, see your gifts, harness it, help you pull it out, and enable you to be the next level of powerful leader that you can be? Well, so we talked about your current career, look back at your kind of history. I want to look at the future now, right? Because this world is moving so fast with technology right now. If you kind of looked into your crystal ball or your analytics, right, and looked into 2030 and then later on into 2040, what do you think the next iteration of a smart city will look like? Let's start with 2030. So in 4 or 5 years from now, what do you think a smart city will look like?
I mean, definitely a smart city, in my way of thinking is that we be able to have everything in our, fingers. If you want to, get to a location, you should be able to just look at an application and get to it. Or if you have an event or anything, you'll be able to know that it is secure. Transportation will definitely change its ways. I think we're going to start seeing a lot of autonomous vehicles. We will start seeing flying autonomous, helicopters or cars, whatever, very soon. I mean, you see it in some cities now. I just came back from Japan, and just seeing the amount of technology that is out there that is just waiting to be out in the market. So I think everything will be in your hand and your fingertips, and also the transportation, how you do services. You don't have to even go to a location to get a service. You'll be able to do it at the comfort of your home, especially with connectivity. The city itself, services should be a lot better, and to a point where citizens, again, don't even have to go in. Safer cities, but yeah, I think technology, anything you can think of is possible with this, the way that technology is moving.
Can you even predict what's going to happen in like 2040, Jorge?
Man,
15 years from now?
I mean, just think about what happened, when the first smartphone came out. It's been, 15 years, right? So 15 years, everything that has happened in 15 years, just multiply that by 10 with artificial intelligence, with everything quantum computing. It's going to be a completely different world. Just the way you live is going to completely change. Nothing is going to be different.
Right? I know.
Yeah.
Any trends or things that you think other cities should be looking out for or preparing for as we kind of move into the future?
Yeah. So I think one of the main things that I notice is cities are the ones that stay behind. I mean, an example, Brownsville, right? When I got there, technology was 20, 30 years old.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's still the problem for many cities out there.
All the legacy systems.
Right. So I think cities need to understand that now is the time to modernize. Now is the time to get on the roll with what is happening in the world, because I mean, again, you just mentioned, to ask what we're going to be in 15 years. So the 15 years that have passed is going to be almost like dog life, right? It's going to be 35 years in the next 15 years, because how things are moving fast. So yeah, cities need to adapt to this world, and cities need to move fast and start to get the right foundation in place to be able to sustain and grow in the future. So
what if they're constrained by resources and lack of funding, though?
So I think that one of the things is changing the mentality. In my point of view, I say it. I think CIOs will make in this era will make great city managers. because everything as a CIO, we see everything that's happening in the organization, right? Even in the manufacturing world and private sector, when I was able to see how the whole operation works because of the technology. Same thing in cities. If that city manager or leadership don't, prioritize technology, they're going to be left behind, and they're going to be that city that is not progressing.
Yes.
That's
people won't want to move there.
People won't want to move there. It go to what you question, how is it going to be in 15 years? People want to be, even right now, I had a conversation with a CEO on hospitals, and it's like one of the reasons good doctors don't move to a city is because what the city offers. Okay, so it goes to that, is like a city needs to adapt to the world, and if a city is not prioritizing technology, they're going to be left behind. Funds, right now, every city has so many projects, right? Streets, you need streets, you need parks, you need this and that, but I think prioritizing the technology foundation infrastructure
and
connectivity is key for a city to keep growing. Because right now, just having companies, businesses ask about Brownsville, one of the first questions they ask is like, how's the internet connectivity? Am I be able to have a 100 gig connection, 10 gig, connection?
Yes.
The era of I need 100 megs 10 years ago is gone. Right now, the minimum right now is 1 gig for small businesses and 10 gigs for bigger, and some of them are asking for 100 gigs.
Wow, I just had a light bulb moment when you said that. Yeah, like it's for people to go, it's how's the Wi-Fi? It's you would almost think it's like a negligible question, but at the same time, as soon as you said that, it's like that enables work, education, schools, businesses, hospitals, you mentioned, safety, police, like everything. It's
amazing how it's all connected back to technology. I mean, just think about even at your home, when the internet is out, what happened last week, a couple years ago, last week, the whole cellular outage.
Yeah.
Right? Same thing is like if a city doesn't get, and they're going to end up spending more money because now they're going to try to play that catch up.
Right.
So.
And that AI rocket ship is moving.
It's moving. It's way gone, and you gotta catch it. And the only way
you can't catch it.
You can't catch it unless you put in a lot of funds, right? A lot of people say that I have done a lot in 3.5 years in Brownsville with the funds that I had, and I was able to stretch every dollar and leverage private-public partnerships to get things done. But if people don't take that time to invest now, it's going to be gone. And if I had the funds that I needed on year one, probably a lot of things that I did in 3.5 years would have been done in a year and a half or two. So having the money definitely helps, but also being creative.
And that relationship.
And that relationship building.
Well, talk to me about the people side of things, right? So it's obviously very exciting technology, all the innovations, all the tools. I know you went to CES conference and you saw all kinds of great gadgets, everything, right? But where do you see the role of people in all this innovations?
It's a lot of people think that AI is going to come to take their jobs. I don't think it's going to take their jobs. They got to adapt to what is coming out, right? A lot of the things that are being done on a computer will be automated. But there also needs to be somebody on the back to automate those things, to create that. And the only people that know how things work are those who are in that organization. So people need to adapt to what is happening, and really you gotta get them started now. It goes back to my team is 2 years ago. I would tell them, hey, this is coming. AI is coming. Get ready. Start learning. Start doing, because when we are there, I want you guys to be prepared. Right now, we're implementing a system to, automate a lot of the services, service management system that has a lot of artificial intelligence built in. And they have to understand artificial intelligence. They have to understand how things are going to be done. And they are the ones building it right now. That team is building it. They've seen how things are working and how actually understand how automation really works. So the workforce, the people needs to get also involved. Upskilling, provide that opportunity. Organization needs to start getting those employees, trained and send them to get some classes. They send them to conferences to see what is happening, because that's when you open your mind. I'm like, I didn't know that could be done, right? And then you start kind of getting curious on, okay, that's how it's done. And if you understand how it is done, that opens doors for you.
For sure. I'm very curious. I know you're a big reader. And you're always learning. Do you have a favorite book or a movie or podcast right now that you're reading or watching that's helping you kind of stay up to date?
So right now, I have a couple books that I like a lot, but one of them that really changed how I am as a technology leader is the CIO paradox, right? That one is I highly recommend that book, because it really goes through the stages of a technology leader. I mean, the book name is CIO paradox, but it really can be used for many IT leaders that don't want to be, or they're going through a phase in their career to do the things that we've been talking about.
Right.
So that's how I stay really, connected and engaged in what I do. But every morning I wake up and I read the world technology news, what is happening, what companies getting acquired. And I just start creating my own, like, okay, how's that going to affect things? Right. The changes that the companies are going through, like Microsoft, changing their licensing structure, the whole Broadcom, VMware, how it went, people freaking out. And now you see things are changing on, and I predicted it, I just started thinking and seeing the things. It's like, soon people are going to start coming from the cloud down to on-premise, and it's happening, right? But just by reading, looking at trends, just digging into why a company is doing what they're doing, and just going to conferences, talking to people, meeting, networking, really changed the way you adapt to your environment.
Is there anything that you've seen that's still just kind of more hype than reality?
I mean, AI 2 years ago was a hype, but I think that was a reality, right?
True.
I mean, I think with AI right now, I was just talking to my 6-year-old daughter, explaining her what AI is, and I tell her, it's like, at her level, I said, AI can create things that are not real, right? But it also can do things that are real 1,000 times better and faster than what we can. So I think that is the importance of what is happening right now, and understanding where the technology world is going right now. AI can do things that you can think of and things that you cannot even think of. Right. So I think that's where really at her level, she's like, oh, okay, so check this out. So she then went, and she has a board. She loves to, she goes to art class. She comes back and gets her board, and she loves axolotls. And then she creates an axolotl with the gills.
What is that?
An axolotl is they call it a Mexican fish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a fish that is native in Mexico.
Okay.
And has, little legs. And it has the little gills, look like little antennas.
Okay.
Well, she said, come here, Dad. And she showed me. She's like, look, this is AI and this is real. So she had a picture of an axolotl, and then she had the AI version of her was
on like a screen
on a board that she was there drawing. The AI version in her head, the gills were not gills; they were wings. She's like, now my axolotl flies because of AI.
Wow.
Right? So she understood the concept and it's like AI can be used to improve. AI can be used to get things moving faster. And also can be done for...
Well, and then it got enabled by her imagination too.
Exactly.
Which I think that maybe that's like the final frontier of humanity to get kind of spiritual is we still have our imagination.
There you go.
That's not based on historical data, right? Like we can imagine things that we've never even seen before.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the beauty of AI. You can do the things that you imagine, that you thought of at one point that you're like, yeah, that's just not possible, right? I mean, right now you can tell Copilot, write me an essay on podcast, and it will give you a whole... You can tell them 1,000 words, and it would do it, right? That could only... Before, if I would have told you this 15 years ago, I'd be like, man, I can give you an essay in 2 minutes of 1,000 words. You'd be like, yeah, nah, it's impossible.
My hand will cramp.
Exactly.
I can't write it. Yeah.
Now it's possible.
Yeah.
So...
Gosh. Jorge, what do you want your legacy to be?
I'm big in giving back to the community. I think for me, as for people to know that it is good to give back. It doesn't have to be about you all the time. You can actually be successful, do the things that you want to do without even thinking just about you. And for me, that's what, everything that I do, I always do it with an outcome in mind. Now when I was in the military, I was the peace, right? And keeping our country, safe and free. Department of Defense, the same thing. I was giving back still. My service was to keep the country safe. And now in local government is I can see the impact of my job or my work immediately. And to me, that's very important for to see.
It's still service.
It's still service.
Yeah.
See that people's lives are changing. And I want people to know that is possible with somebody's, skill.
So Jorge, we have a tradition here on our podcast where I have these conversation cards.
All right.
And they're random. This is from one of my favorite podcasts called Diary of a CEO.
Okay.
And so these are things that different leaders, actors, best-selling authors wrote down for the next guest. So I'm going to ask you to randomly pick a card.
All right.
Okay, and if you can read it.
All right.
And then answer it.
All right, it says, tell a specific story. Oh, man, I can't even read this.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, you read it because...
Is the handwriting that bad?
Is the handwriting that... Not bad. It's just,
oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Tell a specific story of someone in your life who helped make you into the person you are today. What did they do?
I think most recently, and I'm going to use recent person, and I think it was the former city manager for Brownsville. I think, you always meet people for a reason, and sometimes some people make a big difference in your life for good and some for bad, And I think she really gave me that opportunity to expand my wings in Brownsville to really use all my skills that I have, and I think she was very supportive. So when she hired me and she gave me the title of a CIO, it really opened a lot of doors for me. And she is a great leader. She is the type of person that cares about people as well. And I think her and I have that, and it really helped me become the CIO that I am now, because she gave me that opportunity. She opened the door for me to walk in and just start applying the skills that I have. And I can tell you that, there's two people in life that have changed my life. She's one of them. And it really, when I talk to her, I say that, if it wasn't for her, Brownsville won't be the city that it is right now. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't done the things that I did.
Let's give her a shout out. What's her name?
So Helen Ramirez, she's the former city manager for Brownsville. Wow. I think now she is in San Marcos. And she's just a great person, a great leader, and just want to say thank you to her, because she definitely changed my life, changed the things that happened in Brownsville, and she's going to continue doing great things.
There's something about when somebody believes in us and then gives us the room to grow and gives us the room to make an impact, right? Instead of like holding us down or putting us into a box or something like that, right?
And she is the type of person that is very, works very fast, and I work very fast. And getting with her, she's a true executive, because, us executives, we want to we got so many things going on. You want to get to where you need to be. And if you have something, tell me, go to the point. I mean, I can go and talk to her for 30 seconds and she gets what I mean. And she's like, go.
Nice.
And then I will come back, and if there were any roadblocks, I would just copy her, like, Helen, this is what we want to do. Just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page, and she will support you. And that's key, right? When you have somebody that understands your vision and supports it, that's pretty much all you need. So
then you build. You get to build and create.
You just keep moving, but when you have somebody that don't, that just is I won't say slow learner, or they just don't get it how she get it, it made it easier. Yeah.
Well, Jorge, thank you. Thank you for all the insights you shared today. And thank you for your service in the military. Thank you for your service to City of Brownsville. But I think even for me, I've had such a pleasure learning from you, Jorge. Like your quick decision-making, your action-oriented nature, you make things happen. And I have such respect for that. So that's why I'm so honored that you flew in for this interview and this podcast. And I continue to be inspired by you. So
no, thank you.
Thank you, Jorge.
It's great meeting you as well. I mean, you share a lot of great things, and really honored to be here and sharing my story, sharing the things that I have done. And it's always good for people to share their success and also what challenges they have had and how they went through. So thank you for giving me that opportunity to share my story.
Absolutely. I always think for all of you in the audience, sometimes like if you can't see it, you can't dream it. And so I feel like the more stories I can share, the more career journeys that we can highlight, then people can see the endless possibilities that they have in front of them and know that every person can have their own unique path to success and to building a legacy.
Yes, no, dream big. People need to dream big, and you said it. If you can see it, it is possible. And if you cannot see it, find ways to actually see it, and it is possible.
Love it.
So,
well, thank you, Jorge.
Yeah.
And thank you to all of you in the audience for tuning in today. Again, be sure to like and subscribe to our Tech Legacies channel, as well as to follow us on all the different podcasting platforms. And just want to wrap up here, and we'll see you next time on Tech Legacies. I want to take a moment here to give a shout out to one of our amazing partners of Tech Legacies Podcasts. Here with us, Karen Bruno. She is the CEO of Tech CXO Launchpad, an incredible partner of ours. Karen, please tell our audience a bit more about Tech CXO Launchpad.
Thank you so much, Fanny. Thank you for having me today. And Tech CXO Launchpad is a certificate program through SMU, and it is essentially a leadership development program. It's taught through a technology lens, however, and we see ourselves as a fit for really all the disciplines across the C-suite. Whether you are sitting in the seat and you need a refresher, you might be looking for a blueprint to the C-suite, or you might simply be looking to accelerate your career. And something that's unique about us is that we are actually taught by practitioners. So these are current and former CIOs and CTOs who have actually walked in these footsteps. And they are very interested in teaching executive presence to these rising stars. We meet in person on campus at SMU, and we do that for a day and a half each month over the course of 4 months. And our 4 modules cover a wide range of topics. Some of the standouts are the first 90 days, also creating a budget and presenting that budget to the CFO. We also cover some legal topics, such as contracts and the legal implications of AI. And another unique facet is that we do a mock board presentation, and it is a unique opportunity to be able to practice something like that. That is something that you typically are just thrown in, and we also incorporate networking into each of our modules. So the technology executives, we have dozens of them who participate each semester, and they are bringing their networks that they have cultivated over decades, and these networks now become the networks of the individuals that take the program. So your network is your net worth is a tagline of ours, and the network is second to none that we bring through the program. We are incredibly proud that 80% of the graduates of Cohort 1 have either been tapped for a promotion, promoted, they have been nominated for an award, received an award, or have stepped into a new role within 1 year of graduating from the program. We are proud that we are growing rising stars into C-suite executives. Our program is a great fit for anyone who is looking to accelerate or elevate their career, looking to transform their career journey, and oftentimes transform their life. We are Tech CXO Launchpad,